Throughout Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales, readers are introduced to a multitude of characters, all fictitious but based off of people that were either in Chaucer's life or normal to the time period. Two characters specifically that were imported from the Middle Ages were the knight and his squire.
These very real positions were two very important figures in society during the time and throughout the story. Although the characters from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales were heavily stereotyped from the Middle English time period, their attributes, personalities, and lifestyles were not necessarily correct to the people of that time.
Throughout the Canterbury Tales, Geoffrey Chaucer introduces a key character, the knight. He makes this knight appear like he's a perfect gentleman, always doing the right stuff, always being kind to women. He's a ladies' man, gentleman, true scholar. He's been in a bunch of important fights and political events, and he's a key role in politics and the military. Well, in reality, the knight really wasn't that important. He fought in battles when they had fights, but most of the time, he was just jousting or fighting other people to entertain other people of the country. He didn't have that much to do with politics, and the only military role he really had was fighting. He was like a common soldier. The knight wasn't that nice either. He kind of did whatever he wanted. He used his power as a knight to do whatever he wanted in bars or taverns, get free stuff, and house with whoever he wanted to. The knight wasn't the same as what they portrayed him in the Canterbury Tales. In the Canterbury Tales, he was kind of the perfect guy. In reality, he was kind of just a guy.
Chaucer's version of the squire portrayed a ladies' man, always wearing bright, colorful clothing to try to impress ladies. He acted as he was an artist. He was a very important person, very interesting person. But that was different from how history actually had the squire. The squire was more so the knight's maid to clean, get his armor on before tournaments, and he wasn't much of anyone at all. Didn't have much power or much influence.
Chaucer used stock characters throughout the Canterbury Tales. They were stereotyped off of the real people of the time period, but changed personally just to add specific details to the story that were necessary. His characters weren't necessarily real, and they weren't really spot on, but they were as close as he could get for the reasons that he needed to use them for. The Canterbury Tales is fictitious, unlike the characters we've described today. There are differences and there are similarities, but in the end, it's all for the greater good. Thanks for watching. We love you all. The end.